during the day, and I was there for a tiny little short period of time, and it was much more for an inspection. There was no problem during the day. The problem, I saw Leland got whacked pretty good, but that was during the night. And these problems are during the night, not during the day. And I've gone down 2 or 3 times, all for inspection. And you go there, someday you may need it, but you go there, and I went down, I looked at it. It was during the day. It was not a problem. And I read about it like a big thing. There was never a problem. We never had a problem. Nobody ever came close to giving us a problem. The Secret Service does an unbelievable job of maintaining control in the White House. And beyond the Secret Service, we have a lot of other great people out there, including the D.C. police. And then, of course, on top of that, after I saw the one evening, which was a little rough, and it was certainly rough on Leland, I think more so than anybody else, we brought in the troops.
So, Mr. President, I remember on 9/11, the President Bush wanted to land back at Washington. They wouldn't let him. They said it's too dangerous. Finally got him back there. Sometimes the Secret Service even tells the President, I can't do this. So you tell me, Mr. President, they didn't say to you, you have to go downstairs. My responsibility is your welfare. They didn't limit you at all in the House?
Nope, they didn't tell me that at all, but they said it would be a good time to go down, take a look, because maybe sometime you're going to need it. And I've been down, let's see, that would be number 2.5, sort of, because I've done different things, but 2.5. But I looked, I was down for a very, very short period of time. Very, very short period of time. I can't tell you who went with me, but a whole group of people went with me. As an inspecting factor, I was back up. And, Brian, it was during the day. It wasn't during the night. I think they reported during the night. During the night, maybe someday it makes sense. During the day, you have tremendous numbers of people. We didn't even have protesters, or if they did, it was a small crowd. There's so much fake news going around, Brian, you have no idea. Maybe you do actually have an idea.
This is Trump during a radio interview with Fox News' Brian Kilmeade, claiming that he definitely wasn't rushed into the White House bunker for safety. He merely went in to inspect it. Just your run-of-the-mill building inspection done by the President of the United States. My guess is that he checked the plumbing next. And of course, to really drive home the story, Trump claims he's only ever been to the bunker 2.5 times. Just a very real and legitimate explanation about how he's been somewhere 2 times, and then he also was there half of 1 time. If nothing else, we can be sure that this entire explanation is 100% true and completely checks out. This whole prolonged saga was born out of the fact that official records show that over the weekend, as protests grew outside of the White House, Secret Service agents rushed Trump to the underground bunker. And for a guy whose presidency is predicated on seeming tough, the news drew some predictable criticism, especially when contrasted against the fact that while he was hiding away, his Democratic opponent, Joe Biden, was out speaking with protesters on the streets.
That's how I got elected. You think I'm kidding? That's how I got elected.
What this is proof of Trump's insecurity. That at a time when more than 100,000 Americans have died from coronavirus, when protests have sparked up across the entire country, with millions of Americans out of work, with real people hurting every day to a degree never seen before in our history, the only thing he can get on the radio and talk about is that he never went to a bunker, that he's way too tough for that the fake news lied. Because clearly, that's what the president should be talking about. The United States could literally be sinking into the Atlantic Ocean, and Trump would still find a way to make it about him and his own ego. Also, consider the fact that if Trump is clearly irked about this, why bring it up? Why give this story oxygen? He is so cripplingly insecure that rather than just allow it to go away, he has to get the final word. Even if that final word is pretending that the most powerful man on the face of the earth is now doing routine building inspections. And while we can laugh at that, there's a dangerous side to this too, because if he has such poor judgment about something so trivial as not relitigating an embarrassing story by giving the least believable excuse on the face of the earth, then what's happening in meetings with foreign leaders? What's happening with decision-making in military interventions? The guy can't figure out how to not humiliate himself with a simple story about a bunker, and we're supposed to believe that he's brilliantly negotiating denuclearization? The simple fact is that Donald Trump isn't capable of focusing on anything other than himself. He isn't capable of empathy, he isn't capable of compassion. He views everything only through the lens of how he himself can be helped. Which is why even in a protest against police brutality, against racism, rather than make an effort to heal our wounds and unify all sides, his ego only allows him to dig in his heels, deploy police forces to, quote, dominate the protesters, tweet out racially loaded phrases, baselessly blame Antifa, and then lie about something that the whole world knows is true. It is always and only about him. And with his poll numbers sinking by the day, it seems that even his base is finally coming to realize that. If you like that video, please check out my brand new podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I'll cover the most important political stories of the week and interview major players in the world of politics. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out and subscribe now.